Hello, my name is Trydar. Welcome to part 4 of the Roman estate tutorial. Let's pick up right where we left off. So we are here doing a bit more on the front gateway. We're almost finished with the triumphal gateway, focusing on this 2-block section here. As you can see, you're just building this up another block there and putting an upside down ring of stone brick stairs on top of that. And I believe in the next phase, we will just be putting some smooth stone slabs on top of the cobblestone here, and that will be finished. Let's go over here, take a look at the side pavilions. As you can see, what we're doing here is we are building up the interior of the second story of rooms, and the exterior of this is going to look a lot like the lower parts down here, but with some key differences. So over here, as you notice, we are laying out a bit of diorite. And we have the lower part of some window frames here, with just some stone bricks on either side here and some upside down stairs forming the cutout in the middle there. And of course, all the windows will look exactly the same, and the sides of those as well on the back sides over here. So fairly simple to do. Let's take a look at the interior here. I think I should give you just a good top-down view of this entire section will be the easiest way to explain that. I think you can see that what we are doing is putting in spruce tree trunks for the baseboards and window frames. The only differences here are going to be we are putting in also around the stairs here to serve as a small guardrail here. And of course we have them laying on their sides in the windows behind the frames. And you can see that we have the checkerboard pattern for the floor made out of what you should be building out of basalt and black stone. We also have the fireplaces that we're going to have back here as well. And you can go ahead and place campfires in back there as well for those. And they are going to be the same on either end of the building there. So one good last top-down view here. Remember to, just pause the video if you need to, and follow the patterns that we have laid out there. Of course, the back pavilion is going to be the same as the front, but in this instance, there are no dividers. The rooms are the same, but they have matching fireplaces on both ends. But if you prefer, you can leave out maybe the fireplace on this end or the one on that end, and just have a one there. That would be acceptable to do if you want to modify the design. Have a bit more of the eagle statue. I'm just giving a cursory glimpse at this since they have dedicated tutorials for the eagle statues. We can save a little bit of time in this video here. I believe in the last video we may have gotten close to finishing the glass pavilion. Let me actually go back over here and take a look at that. Okay, we need to talk about the top here. So as you can see, we are building out the pointy end. You could probably tell where this was going, and you may have already finished this phase. As you're just extending up the cobblestone and the glass, of course on top here, there's just a ridge of cobblestone as well on both ends there, which will complete it from below looking like that. Right, I believe that we did finish the tops of these things here. So we can now focus on the house itself. And we will do that by starting at the front. So the last phase, I believe we stopped here, laying out the andesite for the front and back porches. And as you can see, the main house itself lies behind that there. Around front here, we are making some ornamental guardrails or banisters out of upside down stone brick stairs and slabs and chiseled stone bricks with slabs on top of those. And from here to here is a unit, by the way. So if you'll notice from here to here, that is the same design there, and it's just repeated all the way along the front of the house and the sides and these sides around here also. And at some points, they get a little bit messy because we ran out of blocks because it's not a clear 5-block thing all the way around. And over here, they also collide a bit with the side gateways, but remember to just let everything overwrite with the stairs on the side gateway there. Go around the exterior here. As you can see behind these, we are also building in the lower parts of what are going to be the large Corinthian columns or the Corinthian pilasters, because they are attached to the building here, as you can see. And when columns are attached to buildings, they are called pilasters. When they are freestanding, like this over here, they are called pillars. As you can see, however, we are building out some more pots for ferns here as well. And the stairs are ascending to the top of the back porch here as well also. So let me give you a good top-down view of this half of the house. I think from here you can fairly clearly see the layouts for the foundations that we are going for. And you can also use the count of the floor patterns below here to get the dimensions of the room. And of course, as with the other rooms, you're laying out the fireplaces and the baseboards. Give you a closer look at those in a moment. And here is the front part of the house. It's very square up here, with just a couple of fern pots as well. And of course, remember it is curved around back here. So let's zoom in a little bit to the main room of the house. I think the top-down view is the most advantageous here because you can see pretty clearly all the dimensions. And here is the front part also. And the side rooms over here as well. It looks like I made a slight mistake over here on one of the baseboards. You'll have to fix that when you are rebuilding it. And I would suggest one of these rooms should be your grand dining room. And another of these rooms should be your grand library. And you can decide which one of those you want to have. Of course, you have your main grand entrance main room here. And the stairwell is going to be coming up here like this pattern here. And we are also putting in the bases of some wooden columns and the lower parts of the ascending staircase. It's going to go up that way and then split off and go to the right and to the left to access the next floors. And I think the only thing to take a look at here is also there's a bit more of the Roman soldier statue. Of course, this statue here has its own tutorial, so I'm just going to give you a quick look at the blocks here. It's a very simple and uncomplicated statue, which I've described many times. So I think we can leave that phase behind and go on to the second phase for this tutorial. As I said, you can see we have the smooth stone slabs here and then some cobblestone slabs behind that to put on top of your Roman triumphal entrance gateway that can also double as another portal. By the way, if you would like to put some obsidian in here and maybe make it a block thicker that way, I have a tutorial on that as well if you are interested in one of those. Let's start over here with the side pavilions. So as you can see here, you are now building out the windows, and you are doing those pretty much according to the same pattern that we did down here, except you're actually putting in glass instead of just a lattice work at this level. And of course, the glass pattern you are using is the same pattern I have described with the alternating panes and full blocks as you see done there. And for the rest of the exterior, you are extending the diorite and the cobblestone and the stone bricks straight up on every window according to these patterns here all the way around the structure. Take a look on the inside here. Start with the fireplace. You're putting in your chiseled stone bricks here according to that design there. And around the room, you're putting in walls of spruce interspersed with bits of red nether brick or whichever material you would like to have this room be colored as. So I'll give you a view here of the fireplace. And around here to the right. And around the back side here. Of course, this room is symmetrical, so it's the same as that side there. So here's the view of this room here. And this side section here, which this whole room actually back here should be the same as this room, except for the entrance of the staircase from below, by the way. So you should be able to copy that. So let me just give you a good top-down view of this entire section here, so you can build that at your own pace. All right, now, of course, as you know by now, the back pavilion here is a carbon copy, pretty much, just shorter, of the main pavilions we just looked at. So those patterns there should all be very evident, I think. A bit more of the eagle statue. It's almost done. You're pretty much just building out this part here of the upper wings. And of course, the statue itself is symmetrical, so it's going to be the same on both sides. In the last phase, we finished off the entire back garden area. So let's go ahead and take a look at the statue over here. It's going to be the lower part of the face of the Roman soldier statue. The cloak is finished at this level here, and then there's just some black stone stairs placed around there for the shoulders and the upper parts of the armor as well. So from here, we can just focus on the house. Now, the pattern for the house, as you can see, if you have built any of my other Roman type structures, the column design you're building here is the same. You're starting out just the base here, as with the last phase of lower courses of stone bricks and cobble, then stone brick stairs, then upside down cobblestone stairs, like so. And every place there was a column design, you are going to build that exact same thing for all the other columns around the front and the back and the sides here. You can see those are the same ones here. You can also go ahead and plant your ferns if you choose to do that. Now, the window designs are not quite the same as the ones over here because those were based on the lower sections of this house. But up here, we now are going to have sort of double windows. And you want to do that with upside down stone brick stairs, as you would have put in the last phase. Behind those, you're stepping back a block, and you're putting in a ledge of stone bricks, and then some cobblestone here. And then, as you can see, you're putting in the lattice work of either your nether brick fences or your dark oak fences for the lattice work of the windows, and you're alternating the glass blocks and panes for the windows, as you see done here. It gets a little complicated over here in the corners, but all the corners should be the exact same, by the way. So I'll just give you a good, let's start with a whole top-down view, actually, of the entire thing, and then we will zoom in and take a closer look. So here's the top-down view of the entire phase of the house. And let's lower down and take a look at half of it in more detail. As you can see, you're putting in the doors on both sides over here as well. And all the windows are going to be pretty much the exact same design here as the same as here, except where they bend in the corners. But once you build one of those, you should very clearly see how to build the rest of those. And it also is also at this level, we are putting in now dark prismarine for our wall colorings there. Of course, they are surrounded by spruce as well, and we are building out the main fireplaces for our house here. You can also go ahead and put in your campfire down here if you prefer to do that as well. We have the door designs over there. They're the same on both sides. And of course, the fireplace design is the same as well. So once you build half of this over here, as you are seeing done here, it is a mirror image of the same on this side of the house as well. The only variance will be what you choose to decorate it with. Of course, I'm presenting the house as undecorated because after you build it, you need something to do with it, so you can spend many, many hours decorating it yourself. Down here, you are putting in the wooden columns as I described, and we have a 2-block tall layer, or sort of a cap around the bases of those columns there, and the lower part of the stairs down front here. I'll give you a view of the stairs coming around back here. It gets a little messy in this section here. I think I just put in a half slab down there for that. Of course, over here you're going to want to use some bark blocks around these sections as well. Here's a view of the back porch here, and I think you can fairly clearly see how all that is laid out. As I said, the exterior windows are all just modular repeating patterns, as are the columns and the windows and the room elements and everything. I think you can get a handle on how I have constructed that there. So I think with that, we can quickly move on to the next phase over here, which this is a sort of a milestone phase because we have finished the front gateways and the side gateways. I think with this one, we also finish possibly the eagle statues back here, like so. So we'll take a look at that first. And the back porch segments are all finished. So from this point onwards, we will just be focusing on the side pavilions and the main house itself. So hopefully now the tutorial will move a little bit quicker because we have gotten a lot of the large bits out of the way, but of course the houses themselves are quite complicated. So let us attend to that. So the exterior for this 2-block level here, it's basically the same as you did for the last phase. All the way around, you want to extend all of those patterns up another 2 blocks on pretty much the inside and the outside. There are only some small changes here. For the fireplace, you've got a nice generous mantle of upside down stone brick stairs here, and a little bit there and a space here for the chimney. Of course, all of the fireplaces in here are the same. This level, we are also building out some light fixtures, some candelabras, hanging down here. I believe they are just, 2 blocks from that section there on both sides. So let me give you a good top-down view of this entire phase. And we will now take a closer look at the rooms. I think the only real difficulty in here is going to be these things over the doors here. And these pretty much all look the same in the house. By the way, you will recognize these from the 2 lower floors that we have already constructed of the main house. And of course, they are the same on both sides. So if I just give you a quick look here from some side angles, I think you can fairly clearly see how to build those. You're mostly just extending up everything in this phase here as well. And of course, the same Holds true for the back here as well. And you're also placing in some candelabras up here as well, made out of either nether brick or dark oak. Whichever you have chosen to use for the windows, just use the same for the candelabras. All right, let us now focus on the main house. Start over here out front with the columns. You are putting some right side ups, cobblestone stairs on top of the upside down ones. And then you are building up the column drums of diorite, and these are going to go up for quite a few phases. I forget the exact distance. It's probably, it's at least 12 blocks, I think. But we will measure that whenever we get over to that phase to make sure. So the windows, you are extending those up as well, according to the same patterns. The only changes on the exterior are going to be the columns, which I have described to you here. There's a small detail of the main doorway entrance. We have a window that is starting 2 blocks taller than the one beside it there. Of course, it's the same on both sides here. And let's take a look around the side here. Just give you a quick view of this pattern here. It's just a modular and repeating pattern. The doors at the back share the same design that the doors at the front did. And of course, the columns back here have the same design as well. So let's start with the top-down view of this entire phase here. All right, so I think you can fairly easily see the high contrast diorite column drums where they're all made. And on the interior, as you will suspect, the walls and the doorways you are extending up here according to same design. You already know where the doorways are, so just on top of those, build this design of stairs and cobblestone walls, as you see done there for every one of those. Of course, you want to be extending the windows up as well, as you see done here. And the mantle places are, of course, quite large and generous over the fireplaces you have already built here. And of course, remember to leave a block opening for ventilation for your chimney to make them functional. Take a look at the main room here. Give you a good look around it so you can make sure you get all the details correct. The only thing that I think we'll need to focus on here is going to be the stairway. The columns are simple. You're extending those up 2 blocks. The main stairwell, though, you come to a landing here. Another 2x3 landing. And then you're going up to the right and the left here. Like so. So I need to give you a view from the bottom here, so you can see how this is constructed. And there are also some small details of, we have some stained glass that's hanging down here that I'm going to ignore for the moment, because I think once we get up to a ceiling height, you will be able to see how to construct the chandeliers at that level. All right, I believe we have time in this tutorial to go to a 4th phase again, because we have finished all the little details. So let's start over here with the side pavilions again. There's a change at this level. We have a sort of a string chorus, or rather a detail, of some upside down stone brick stairs that are arranged according to these designs here. And they are done all the way around the structure, as you see done there. So let's start with the top-down view. And a good side view here as well. And you can see the windows are unchanged pretty much. We're just extending those up another 2 blocks as well, along with the interior, except at this level you're putting on what is going to be getting to the top of the room, which is going to have some crown molding in it. before we put on our ceiling. For the chandeliers, you are extending up just some fences in the middle there. You're extending up the chimney back there and putting on the tops of the walls over here. So let me just land here, give you a good view of this section all the way around the room so that you can see everything and get the patterns correct. And the middle room here. Fairly simple design. I don't think we need to spend too much time on it. Of course, this room back here is the mirror image of that room over there. And you know the drill by now on this room back here. So I'll just give you a glancing shot of this one back here. And as I've said, I believe the eagle statues are now finished. And at this level, the Roman soldier statue will also be finished. You will be building the characteristic headdress according to these patterns here. And once that is done, now I'll focus on main house. So all the column drums are, of course, extending up exactly as I said that they would be doing. The windows are extending up as well. There is a small detail. We have some alternating bands of cobblestone and stone bricks in a 1-to-2 pattern that is very subtle but noticeable, being layered in to the windows as you see done here. And this is all the way around the structure as you see done there. And I think that's going to be a fairly simple exterior face because that's all a repeating pattern. On the interior here, we have some lower parts of some chandeliers, which I'm going to continue to ignore until we get to the ceiling. We are extending up the interior walls according to the same patterns, the chimney also, and the windows on the inside. So I'm just going to give you a good panning view around these rooms so you can double check your work and make sure that we are all on the same page here. This is looking towards the front. And this is more of the back stairs here, which you are extending up your columns here, and you're now extending up the side stairs according to this pattern done here. I think that is probably all there is to talk about on that phase. So we can actually go to a 5th phase on this and make up a bit of time, I think. And let's start again with the pavilions. So at this level, we are starting to put in some diorite arches, and these are going to follow the same patterns as the ones that you did down there. This stone brick or cobblestone stair roughly corresponds to this one right here, except as we are ascending in height, things are becoming a bit more refined. Lower down, those were made of cobblestone, but up here they're made of more smoother stone bricks. And you can see that the windows are also arched off at this phase as well. And of course, once you do one of these windows, you do the other windows all exactly the same. And let me give you a good top-down view here, because as you can see, you are putting on the ceiling of the rooms down below as well. And we're still close enough to Christmas. We will drop in through the chimney here and take a look at the room here. So this is the room from below. Of course, this entire building, it has a too wide center here. It's not an odd thing, so we had to have a double wide beam going across the center of the ceiling. And you can see how the candelabras, the chandeliers, are attached to the ceiling here. Of course, there is some upside down spruce stairs here to serve as some crown molding around the room as well to give it a nice, very refined and high quality finished atmosphere in these rooms, I think. Of course, all of these rooms are going to be the same. So let us ascend back through the chimney, and of course, the back pavilion here is the same design, as you well know by now. So just a quick top-down view of that. And the statue is complete as well, so we can now focus on the house. So at this phase, only the house and the side pavilions remain to be talked about. The columns are being extended up another 2 blocks in height for their column drums. The exterior windows are ascending up another 2 blocks according to these patterns here. And remember, once you build one of these, you want to go around and build all the others. The exact same design as you see done here. Fairly simple to do for the exterior phase. The interior is a little bit more complicated. I'm going to continue to ignore the chandeliers. And we will take a look at the windows on the inside here. And there are also going to be some supports here for every other one of those windows. As well, as you see done there, pretty much every place you have a piece of spruce, going to be doing that in this room. So let me give you a view here of the fireplace and the chimney. And back over here, we are putting in some lower parts of some wooden Corinthian columns and capitals done here with some upside down stairs at this level here, and a view of the staircase from the lower part here and from the upper part here. It gets a little messy over here and in these sections here, but do your best to replicate those patterns. I think that covers the main room. Let's talk about the side rooms. They of course have the same patterns as well as the main room, with the upside down spruce stairs done as you see here. And we will continue to ignore those chandeliers until we get to the ceiling, which they will be much easier to talk about in that section there. But I believe this phase here, I think we can squeeze this one in to the tutorial. We go in here, we take a look at the arches are being complete at this level, and you're putting in a band of cobblestone, and every other block you're putting in some dentils made of upside down cobblestone stairs. We got 2 in the middle here, by the way, just sort of how that worked out. And the back side, as you see done along here. Fairly simple pattern to replicate. And I will give you a top-down view of the upper parts of these floors, which now looking at it, I completely forgot that I put rooms up here, so I did not extend the staircase up to this level. That's a little embarrassing, actually. I think I will have to leave it to you to build a staircase. And what I would do is the lower staircase that you've been building, take the same pattern and sort of somewhere in the middle room here, just knock a hole in the floor and the ceiling there. Or you can just put a straight ladder to solve that problem there as well. So my apologies for the incomplete design. Till this phase in the tutorial, I completely forgot that I did not extend it upwards this far, but I think you can see from the block count what the rooms are intended to be. I mean, they're just sort of some upper attic storage rooms. They don't even have windows in them. So if you want to, you can just leave this hollow in your design up here as well, and not even build them if you so choose to do that. And of course, there won't be any access for the upper part up here as well. In fact, it looks like there aren't even any doors up here as well. So that's a rather large, embarrassing oversight. But oh well. Nothing I can do about that now. Let's go over here. The exterior column drums, sending up another 2 blocks at this level. They should be how many blocks? that many blocks tall. That looks to be about 7. So here is a view of the windows. You're actually capping the windows off with a layer of stone bricks and then upside down stone brick stairs on top of that. And you're going to be doing all the windows of the exact same design as you see done here. On the exterior, fairly simple to do. Let me give you a good top-down view of the main house. Now, the main house itself does have all of the stairwells and accesses finished. So there's not going to be a problem on that. But as you can see, here's going to be the pattern for the beams and the ceilings of the 3 main rooms, along with their chimneys. And if we lower down and go in here, let's take a look at what is going to be a finished room. And it may be a little dark, so I'll have a potion so we can see. So we can now talk about the chandeliers. So you can see from the positions that they are hanging down from the roof beams exactly where you want to put them, which is why I have ignored them till this moment. And you are just building these with some chiseled stone bricks, a bit of glowstone, cobblestone walls, and some light blue stained glass panes for delicate chandelier fixtures. Of course, all 4 chandeliers share the same design. And behind here, we can see that there is a ledge of crown molding that is going up of spruce stairs upside down all the way around the room. And on top of those, you're putting in the beams for your ceiling with their wooden coffers. You're also finishing the upper level of the Corinthian capitals of these wooden columns here. Here's a view of the interface of the stairs on that side there. And when you go up to the top there to this next floor level here, I think about the last thing we need to take a look at, time we have available today, is going to be the finished either dining room or a master library, whatever you choose to put in here. So let me give you a view around the top of the ceiling here. There's a small detail of the interface between the chimney and the ceiling. But otherwise, the entire room is built according to these same patterns here that you should already know how to construct from all of the other levels of the house that we have been building up into this moment here. So let me go up and give you a good top-down view of this entire phase. And I believe this is where we will have to cut it off for today. So I hope you are continuing to enjoy the Roman estate tutorial. I think there will be at least one more video for sure, possibly 2. It depends on how long it's going to take to describe the rest of the house. But this is also going to be my last video for this year, since this should be New Year's Eve when you are seeing this video. But thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.